Hello everyone, we are bracing ourselves for some sadness today. As you can tell by the title, I am going to be reading 1-star reviews of some of my 5-star reads. Obviously I have plenty of 5-star reads, but today I just chose 7 books that I've rated 5 stars in the past that I'm going to be reading bad reviews for. I figured we would get all comfy cozy, just chill here for a second and read some reviews. Getting right into it. First book I have is Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. Honestly, the whole series is 5 stars for me. I love Harry Potter. It's my favorite series of all time. But I'm honestly not sure which book I like the best in that series. I haven't really given much thought to that. Prison of Azkaban is my favorite movie, but book-wise, I honestly have no idea. For right now, we're just gonna do the first one. These ones won't hurt me too much because Harry Potter's so popular, so I feel like there's gonna be a lot of different feelings about Harry Potter. And at this point, I think a lot of the 1-star reviews are gonna be about the author. So I got Goodreads pulled up here. I'm gonna be reading all the reviews from Goodreads. Dang, this book almost has 10 million ratings in total. That's insane. So there's almost 170,000 1-star reviews. Third one down is about the author. Totally understandable. Okay, literally the first 1-star review is from Voldemort himself. It says, "This is a disgrace to all purebloods. My head looked quite dashing on that strange professor's head. If only I could have extended my stay. Harry Potter, this is not over yet." Okay, so obviously Voldemort would rate it 1 star. That's pretty funny, actually. I like that one a lot. Okay, that one's way too long. We're not going to be reading long reviews here. We're just going to stick with the short ones. This one has me a little confused. It says, "This is my 3rd favorite book in the series. I really liked it. It makes me remember my childhood. The book is by far better than the movie, obviously, and I'm going to reread it soon. But it's a 1 star. Interesting. Okay. This one is, "An overrated jock is really good at a effed up game of catch." I mean, I don't think he's a jock. I would not say that. He's literally 11. I mean, Quidditch is pretty effed up. We can say that. This one says, "Harry Potter books are predictable and boring. Even my kindergartner got annoyed with them." Sounds like a very smart kindergartner to me. Okay, this one. It says, "First of all, you have to ask yourself this question. How old am I? If the answer is above 10, please put the book down. You are embarrassing yourself." I would have said 11, but then it occurred to me that today's tweens are probably a little too mature for this book and though better of it. Yes, I'm sure the rest of the books in this series get better and blah blah blah, but unless you are reading this as a bedtime story to a small child, just say no. I wish I had. And the comments say, "Hater, it's for children." You know, honestly, these reviews for Harry Potter I don't have too much to comment on. But yeah, I mean, this book is for children, especially the first one. Next book is going to be The Book Thief. Now, when people ask me what my favorite book is, I always say The Book Thief. I read this, let me look to see when I read this. I don't know what year. It's been a while. 2015. The beginning of 2015. I really love this book and I still say that it's my favorite book of all time. This is a book that I also want to reread just to make sure that I love it as much as I think I do. This book does have a special place in my heart. It's a really popular book. A lot of people have read it and I don't know. I love this book. I also feel like this one might not have any funny reviews. I kind of want to do funny reviews, but I think those are going to have to be in the romance books that I'm about to show you. First review for The Book Thief says, "If it were possible to give a book 0 stars, nay, negative stars, I would do so for The Book Thief. I couldn't even get past the first 100 pages. The characters were flat and uninteresting, the plot trudged along at a glacial pace, and the writing, oh, the writing. So much heavy-handed symbolism, so many groan-inducing similes and metaphors, so many blatant grammar errors passed off as experimental writing, so many fragments. Can I read? If one of my students wrote a story like this, I would commend them for trying to be creative and original, while I'm just gonna give up. While simultaneously being very I need a break. Holy crap, this is the 2nd book and I can't even read. Anyway, Zusak, however, is not a high school freshman. He is a New York Times bestselling author. That is the most disturbing thing about this book. We're just gonna ignore the fact that I butchered that. We're gonna move on to the next one. This one's interesting because, well, I'll read it first and then I'll explain. The narration killed the book. It was a decent story, but the narrator was just awful. I think the author was trying to do something different than a lot of other World War II fiction, but it didn't work for me. It didn't help that this book has a lot of hype and I had pretty high expectations going in. I'm putting this one in here because the narration is what made me give the book a 5 stars, so it's interesting to see that somebody could completely hate something that I completely love, and that's what's fun about reading. You never know how people are gonna feel. This one says, "It should be in my started reading and put it down shelf, but that is reserved for books I might try and read again." I don't know that I'll do that with this one. No, I know I won't try to read this book again. Hated what little I read of it, which was actually a lot. It's whatever. So many of my pet peeves in one book. I love a good book and I also love hating on a bad one. Girl, same. That is The Book Thief. But yeah, I love the narration in this book. Obviously, if I read it again, I don't know. I could hate it. These 1-star reviews are making me scared to reread it. I don't want to hate a book that I've been saying is my favorite book of all time, because it'll be a little embarrassing. You know, things happen, things surprise you. I could hate it. It could be the worst book that I've ever read if I read it again. Let's hope not. Should I reread it, or should I just keep it at I love this book, just to be safe? Next book, we're getting into a book that is kind of a guilty pleasure. Is it the best thing ever? No. I can understand why people rate this one 1 stars, but I love this book. It was one of those like giggle kick your feet books, and it is The Love Hypothesis by Ellie Hazelwood. This is the first book I read by her. I read it in the beginning of 2022, which seems like forever ago. First, I'm going to put my review here. I will read it to you just because I haven't read this since I finished this book, so I don't know what my review says. Please leave me be while I cry over the fact that Adam doesn't exist in real life. There wasn't a single thing that I didn't like about this book, which is very rare for me. Maybe because my fave subject was science, so it brought back a little bit of nerdiness, but I want to be a character in this story so bad. Honestly, don't know how I didn't hate Olive, because it bothers me so much when characters lie and can't just tell the truth when they know that it's the right thing to do. I think I was just blindsided by this perfect man of a character. Do I care though? No. New fave book. Honestly, I don't remember much of Olive as a character. Listen, I read a book, forget it, and that's that. So the fact that Olive apparently tells lies a lot, I think that if I read this now, I would hate it, or that would really bother me and I wouldn't give it a 5 stars. But listen, sometimes you read a book and in the moment you're like, you know, you're just in love with it, and I think that was a situation with The Love Hypothesis. Anyway, let's get to the 1-star reviews. I feel like these ones have to be funny. All right, here we go. Okay, no, that one's too long, never mind. I'm blocking everyone who said this was good on BookTok. Well, lucky for me, I don't have BookTok and I'm not a BookTok user, so can't block me. I'm just gonna put this one up here. You guys can I'm scared. Wait, I didn't see that one at first. Oh, okay, that's funny. Okay, wait, this one's actually insane. I'll never forget overhearing one of my classmates in high school say that this book will be considered a classic in the future. Now that, yeah, that's a reach. Definitely. That's not gonna happen. I can't even imagine saying that, ever. Bad. That is The Love Hypothesis. A lot of the reviews are saying that it's very cringy, and I believe it. I do, but I'm gonna ignore that. Moving on. What's my next book? This one might hurt a little bit. This is 6 Crimson Cranes. I read this last month and I absolutely fell in love with it. So this is a more recent 5-star read for me. This is one of the books that I really don't want to hear any slander on because I just think it was so good. I'm gonna go search for some 1 stars and see how sad I'm about to be. It has 393, which isn't too bad. Yeah, ooh. Okay, I'm scared for this one, but we just gotta do it. This first one says, and the award for most disappointing book goes to... It's my fault. I broke my #1 rule. After Kingdom of the Wicked, I promised myself that I would never automatically buy an author's next work, no matter how fantastic their debut was. But I thought Elizabeth was different, Spin the Dawn was exceptional, and there was no way I could have anticipated this disaster, and yet here we are. Spin the Dawn was written before 6 Crimson Cranes. Obviously, I didn't pick that one up first, but I picked Spin the Dawn up recently because I love 6 Crimson Cranes so much. But it's interesting to see that somebody loves Spin the Dawn so much and not 6 Crimson Cranes. This is getting me excited to read Spin the Dawn. I'm looking at Spin the Dawn right now. Alright, next. It's so bad I want to give you a 0, but that's not possible, so I give you a 1. How on earth was this published? How in the heck is this so popular? Because I love it. Oh, I understand the hype. I get the popularity. I will make the book popular, and I stand by that. This one, the DNF, it says, I'm honestly surprised this book has such a high rating and positive reviews when I found it pretty much insufferable. This review was insufferable. I'm sorry, but this reads like a children's book and not a fun one. Also, I can't get over the ridiculousness of the bullhead. Too bad for that cover. A lot of people were saying that this is more like a children's book than YA, but I'm 25 and I love the heck out of this book. I was into it the whole entire time and I thought it was super fun. And the bullhead, I feel like the people who are hating on the bullhead has never gotten like Studio Ghibli vibes from anything before. Because yes, it's weird, but if you've seen like movies with those weird things happening, it's just, it makes sense. So anybody hating on the bullhead, watch a Studio Ghibli movie. What a waste of a gorgeous cover. I was going to give it 2 stars for the cover alone, but alas. The cover is one of my favorites, I will say. And I think you should have given it 2 stars for the cover because it is that beautiful. And then we're gonna end off this book with this review. I like this one because it's someone rating it a 1 star, they didn't like it, but it's still kind of recommending the book to someone in case it's a book that you think you're gonna like. Please don't let my 1-star rating detour you from reading this book. I typically don't like YA novels. I picked this book based on strong reviews and my interest to try a new author. I found the retelling and concept of the story interesting. However, I got frustrated by the characters, which is my typical complaint with YA novels, and the story seems too slow. But it says if you're a fan of YA fantasy, give it a try. Not hating on it, just wasn't for them, which makes sense. And I like reviews like that. I had to end that one off on a good note. That one was a little rough. I feel like it's only gonna get more difficult from here on out. out. Let's get into the next book. Next book is A Study in Drowning by Ava Reed. I adore this book. The writing, I loved. I fell in love with it. I fell in love with the quotes. I had that feeling with this book, and it's my 5-star. DNF at 70%. You could not pay me to care. I don't want to pay you anyway. This one is another DNF at 51%. Just smile and wave, guys. Just smile and wave. This is the second book I've DNF'd in my life, and I'm proud to say I don't feel bad at all, and I'm not thinking of reading it later. I'm done with this book. This one's funny if you've read the book. It says it's not a book. It's a high school dissertation about a book we can't even read. If you know, you know, but I just thought that one was funny. And last but not least, no. Next, I have Kid by Jessie Hall. This book has my whole entire heart. I love it more than anything. I read this last year and it has stuck with me ever since. I think it will forever stick with me. And I could cry just thinking about this book because that's how much I love it. These reviews, I think, are gonna make me the most sad. Kicking it off, we have a DNF at 22%. This book was repetitious and insta-love with nothing to back it. Joe just seemed like a tease who liked toying with Kid. I love them. I love Joe and Kid. They're literally two of my favorite characters ever, and I love them, okay? I love them. This one says, I just cannot, bro. I just cannot. I can't either. I read to 45% and realized I didn't care about or like any of the characters and was incredibly bored. See, this is so rough for me because I love these characters. Like I just said, oh, they're in here. They're in here forever. First DNF of the year, 38%. I was very excited for this, but I just couldn't do it. Both MCs just got high all the time, refused to acknowledge the trauma, thinking drugs is a coping mechanism. This one's rough because what these characters were going through, it's not easy to deal with life sober. Honestly, there are a lot of people that go through really hard things and they have to resort to something. Yes, there's a lot of drugs in this book. There's a lot of using substances to forget about things in your life. These characters dealt with so much trauma that like you have to understand that it's very hard for them to get through life, but it's okay. That's your opinion. I understand. But other than that, there's not many written 1-star reviews. There's only 53 1-star reviews, and there's maybe there's probably not even 15 written reviews, so couldn't give you too much with this book, and I'm happy about that. I'm not complaining. So moving on, very last book. This is actually the last book that I rated 5 stars. I just finished this the other day. It's the last book that I read, and it is a spoiler alert for one of my reads in March, but this one is Forget Me Not by Julie Soto. I picked this up when it came out. Allie Hazelwood said that she loves it and she would read anything Julie Soto writes. I think they're friends in real life. I'm not entirely sure, or they're author friends, whatever. Of course, Allie Hazelwood was posting about this book, and then that's why I picked it up, and I finally read it and I loved it. It gave me that giggle kicking feet feeling like Love Hypothesis did. I'm not going to be too upset about these 1-star reviews, I think, just because once again I feel like with certain romances, especially contemporary romances or little rom-coms, maybe cliche ones, I think it's very common to have 1-star reviews. First one, right off the bat, we have, as a man, why are you wearing skinny jeans? Justice for men in skinny jeans, okay? If they're wearing black skinny jeans, that can be passed. If they're blue skinny jeans, no. If they're black skinny jeans, yes. 1 star, the title being Forget Me Not is ironic considering how badly I want to forget about it. Oh, maybe looking at 1-star reviews is actually fun. I should do this more often. I'm starting to think I might just be cold and dead inside. No, listen, understandable. DNF at page 6 is crazy to even write a review for, honestly, but suit yourself, I guess. Ha 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 ha, put me in quite a slump. Boo, I should stop trusting any book hype. I said that really weird. I could not even pass 20%. No, thank you, bye. Like, I always read bad books, but I can't stand boring and boring ones. That sentence was a disaster. Okay, go off. This book made me eat donuts and flowers. Absolutely insufferable. 100% judge the book by its cover. I love the cover, and I love the books, so that's exactly what I did. Thank you. Horrible. I hate it. This one says I'm starting to think maybe romance isn't my genre. I can agree with this when it comes to other romance books. Not this book though. And finally, this one says, goodbye. And we will leave it at that because that is going to be goodbye for this video. Okay, that was fun. You like a book, someone might not like it. You don't like a book, someone may love it. That's what's fun about reading and being in a book community, and I really do love seeing everyone's opinions on books. Obviously, some reviews are very, very harsh. I'm not a huge fan on those reviews, but I really like just the 1-sentence funny ones. So that was all my pain for today. Thanks for watching. I will see you guys in my next video, whatever that may be. Have a good day. Have a good time wherever you're having a time. I never know what to say. So I'll just see you later. Bye.